Royals baseball comes to you from Miller Park in Milwaukee. We'll be playing indoors tonight as the Royals' 10-day odyssey continues with a 2-game series against the Brewers. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. It is 4 cities over 10 days, which included a stop in Kansas City yesterday to take on the Angels, and that was well worth the trip home.
It was. They played excellent baseball. They swept the homestand. It was fun to see, too, because everybody did it. Duda, just freshly back from the disabled list, got a big hit. Man, and how about McCarthy? He pitched some great innings after Keller. Keller was fantastic. But look, the timely hits were there. It was good to see Herrera chipping in, too. Good, nice, easy, level swing, finding holes. That's important. They've got to really keep it up. But they found their closer in Peralta. He looked sharp.
Royals so far 2-2 in a 15-game stretch against teams all above 500, and that continues tonight with the first-place Brewers from the NL Central. The break for the Royals, but this is a very good team. Our Lowe's whole team together, Hud, this is not just a first-place team. The Brewers are tied for the best record in the league.
No, they're well balanced, Rhino. This kid Aguilar, man, he's got some pop. Very well balanced with some speed. Yelich is in there. He's a nice-looking player who can play anywhere in the outfield. And I'll tell you what, they got a pin to win. This young man right here, this Hader guy, whoo, he's filthy.
Pitching matchup tonight, Jacob Junis for the Royals and Freddie Peralta for the Brewers. 4 games in that series. The Brewers were at Kauffman Stadium in April, and they've won the first 2. And now a 2-game series begins in Milwaukee tonight. Is 70 degrees inside, rain outside, and temperatures in the 60s. And from here, the Royals go to Seattle, and they have a roof, so no threat of losing any games to weather. Here's the Royals batting order presented by GMC. Mike Moustakas is back in there. He had the day off yesterday against the Angels. Alcides Escobar slides back to short, the one-time Brewer. So Adalberto Mondesi will be at second. And with the National League rules, Jacob Junis will hit. And the Royals will take a look at right-hander Freddie Peralta, who has struck out 25 in his first 15 2/3 innings. He has made 3 starts for the Brewers, but this will be his first at home.
8 walks. There you go. Watch out. 8 walks. Hey, look, that fastball, that's what he uses. 84%. Pick your heater and don't miss it. Defensively behind Mr. Peralta. They're a good defense. Are you kidding me? They're the best in Major League Baseball in defensive run save this year, plus 54. They've been solid. Yelich is a good center fielder. And Jesus Aguilar, first base, 300-pounder. He's a shortstop in an offensive lineman's body. Good player. This big guy. Good soft hands.
Which is better than an offensive lineman in a shortstop's body.
Way to go.
Strike on Whit Merrifield. Whit, 2-hit Whit, as we like to call him, had another multi-hit game yesterday against the Angels, his 23rd of the year. That leads the Royals. Down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes.
Kind of has a cross-firing action to his delivery. Very tough to pick up. Makes a good living so far early on high fastballs in the zone.
But looking at 2 fastballs, I mean, he doesn't throw 96, 97, 98.
No, and that's what makes him so unusual early in his career. The success he's had up in the zone is because he has great movement and hard to pick up his delivery.
And the term we're becoming more and more familiar with He has very good spin rate with his fastball.
That's right. Curveball and change to complement it. But the 114 overall opponent average on the heater is impressive so far for lack of velocity, even though he can reach 93, 94. But I mentioned the 8 walks. He can be wild. And his key is pick out a fastball that's a good one.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Talk about those walks, Hud. He's had 2 crazy starts to his career. May 13th, 13 strikeouts in 5 2/3 innings. That put him in rare company. And then in his second start, he had 6 walks in 4 innings.
And a little bit erratic. With that first start on Mother's Day, pretty special for him and his family. Family was there. Gave the ball to his mom. I mean, you know, that's beautiful when that can happen.
He became just the 5th pitcher all time to have 13 strikeouts or more in his big league debut. Having a battle with Witt. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Love this plate appearance here. 9th pitch coming. When you face a guy that throws 84% fastballs, that eliminates a lot of thinking for the hitter. It makes it easy. Or easier.
Peralta shakes off a fastball, wants to go to the breaking ball. And it is in for a strike. He took something off of that one. So the strikeout man begins his night with a strikeout.
That's just a little get me over breaking ball. Witt saw it good. He'll mark that down for next at bat.
And now Roselle Herrera, who had a career high 3 hits yesterday and gave the Royals that insurance run with an RBI in the 8th inning. That's a little bit outside for ball 1. And at bat where he first wanted to lay down a bunt and then eventually had an RBI single. 1 ball, 1 strike. Seven starts, 5 RBIs, and an OPS over 800. 2-1. A little bit down and away, according to home plate umpire Jordan Baker. This is the same umpiring crew that was at Kauffman Stadium yesterday afternoon for the Royals and the Angels.
Roselle, this is a good pitch to jump on. And what impresses me is he uses the whole field. Good swing, man. He wanted to go deep. Watching him in batting practice today, first time I really had a chance to, and he was launching some balls here at Miller Park. Into this deep into the seats. He's got some pop. You know, in his minor league career, he had 45 home runs, so he definitely can hit them. But I like his table setting ability. I think that's what Ned likes best from him. Get on, utilize the speed.
Look out. Still 3-2. Nice crowd here tonight on a Tuesday evening. Fans are excited about their Brewers. They lead the National League Central by 2.5 games over the Cubs. Last year they led the Cubs by 5.5 games at the All-Star break and then faded away in the second half. Chopped out to Aguilar. He'll go to the bag. 2 down. Peralta's not very big. he is listed at 6 foot and about 170 pounds, which by today's standards isn't ideal for a major league starter. You're always worried about stamina and workload, but he's off to a heck of a start.
This talks a lot about his live fastball, natural movement. It cuts in, it tails away, and it's obvious by his production so far, and it's just his 2 starts. You can see it there. Lives in the top of the zone with that 90-91. That's the kind of fastball that can give hitters fits.
One and one on Mike Moustakas. He did not play yesterday. It was just the 3rd time in the Royals' first 78 games that he was not in the lineup. He is still on pace for a career high 158 games this year. Took something off of it. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Just enough off speed there. Change up, couple, not a lot of change ups, and a curve to keep him honest. A little breaking.
Still 1 and 2. Royals have made Peralta throw 20 pitches to the first 3 hitters. Pena wants the target down and away. It is down and away. So that's 27 strikeouts for Peralta in 16 2/3 innings. Jacob Junis takes the mound for the Royals tonight. The Brewers, he wrecked his thumb back in April when the Brewers were in Kansas City. Here's the GMC Milwaukee batting order. And the Brewers have power. They are 4th in the National League in home runs. They also have speed, 2nd in the league in stolen bases. But Lorenzo Cain was placed on the disabled list earlier today with a groin strain. So Jacob Junis will face Milwaukee for the first time in his career, trying to put an end to a 5-game losing streak, a personal 5-game losing streak. And he's in with a strike to Eric Thames.
Well, he has the stuff to do it, that's for sure, especially if his sliders work. Junis's keys tonight for success: get ahead. A lot of pitchers want to get ahead, but when he's behind, the opponent's got the upper hand. But when he's ahead, it's 142 average against. So just like he is in this first batter, there it is. That should be the combination for him for success tonight. Check it out. They call this a backdoor slider. Comes in the back door. Perfectly placed. Ford around the horn. Royals defense. Whitley back out in center field. Go along with Herrera and Alex. But look, Lucas Duda is feeling good. He's telling me before the game, my foot's great. He's getting his first start out there in the field. He's got soft hands and quick feet.
Here's Ryan Braun. Hit to left field, hooking toward the corner. And it's one hop off the wall to Alex Gordon, who makes a good throw to second base, but Braun has a one-out double.
Braun, 13th double. He hit it off the end of his bat. You can kind of tell. You can kind of tell by the sound. A lot of folks here thought he got it all, but that fastball was up and in. Love to watch Alex take balls off the wall. His footwork is so good out there.
So Christian Yelich with a runner in scoring position and one out. Mentioned the Brewers last year had a huge improvement as far as their record goes, but also felt like they let the season slip away. So they went out and they got Christian Yelich in a trade and then signed Lorenzo Cain as a free agent. Brewers improved by 13 games last year. And then they had the 5.5 game lead at the All-Star break. They came out of the gate slow. They lost 11 of 16 to begin the second half and never really recovered. So they felt like they were just a couple of players away from going into the playoffs and deep into the playoffs. So they traded a ton of prospects to get Yelich here and lost a draft pick by signing Lorenzo Cain. That is hit very well to left field. There is nothing Alex can do about that one. That is a two-run opposite field home run for Christian Yelich.
Fastball up in the zone. That's been one of the problems that Junis has had this year as far as keeping the ball in the yard. That's the 8th home run hit off of his 4-seam fastball. Might have been 2-seam, but still. 7th home run given up to a left-handed bat, and that's the 20th overall off of Junis.
So from one guy with power to another guy with power, Jesus Aguilar. He has 16 this year. 1 ball, 1 strike. If you had a chance to listen to Price Chopper Royals live, we had Brewers play-by-play man Brian Anderson on with us talking about Aguilar's surge, which began right before the Brewers came to Kansas City back in April. He didn't have 1 home run or 1 RBI into the middle of April. And now, since that point, he has the 2nd most home runs and the 2nd most RBIs in the National League. 16 home runs in our Toyota League leaderboard. Off the end of the bat, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Good find and good for him. Sometimes a ball player just may not look like a ball player, but that doesn't mean they can't do their job. He's a power hitter. I talked about him at first base. He's very smooth. Doesn't have a lot of range, obviously, but he's got good hands, and he waited his turn, and now he's showing what he's got.
Able to protect with 2 balls and 2 strikes. And he's still productive with 2 strikes. So you're not talking about a mindless slugger up there. I mean, he still makes contact even when he's down in the count. And now 3-2 with Brad Miller on deck. Junis opened the inning with a 3-pitch strikeout and then gave up a double and a 2-run home run, and now 3-2 to Aguilar. And that's line foul off the left field line.
You want to be able to keep that slider in the lower part of the zone. Junis is good with that pitch when he's on. Opponent's only hitting 180, 135 for an average, but they have hit 5 home runs off that pitch when it's elevated. Keep her down. He's obviously wants a heater away. No, slider. When you're a guy like this young man here in Aguilar, he's got power to all fields. He's just going to hit it where it's pitched, and in this ballpark, it flies.
Got him. Got him to chase. So Junis has 2 strikeouts, and that'll bring up Miller.
That's the one. See where it starts? It starts inside on his release point and finishes way off. That's his successful slider.
And now Brad Miller, who just recently joined the Brewers, their young, slick fielding shortstop Orlando Arcia is batting under 200. So they get the veteran Miller. 2 balls and no strikes.
Miller's a proven hitter. He's had some up and down seasons, but he's got some pop.
Two balls, 1 strike.
Especially middle in. Don't want to leave him anything in there. Holds his hands high. No batting gloves. Doesn't get cheated.
He's one of those guys we were talking about, Hud, as we were praising Whit Merrifield for hitting all those home runs last year, but not changing as a player.
Right.
Miller would be an example of the opposite. No swing. 2 years ago, he hit 30 home runs out of nowhere. He had never hit more than 11. He hit 30. And then last year he hit 9, and his batting average tumbled to 201.
Swing and misses. And so far, home plate umpire tonight, Jordan Baker's not given that high strike. Now that won't hurt Junis as bad as it will the young man Freddie Peralta. So as long as he goes both ways.
Here's Hernan Perez, who is playing at third base tonight for the Brewers. Up and away, ball 1. And now Junis will be making his 25th pitch of this bottom of the first inning. He has allowed a 2-run home run to Christian Yelich. And to your point, Hud, about the high strike, there's some room outside the strike zone on the edges, but not much room in the upper part of the strike zone.
No.
Which is a bit odd, because if anybody was going to call a high strike, it'd be Jordan Baker, who's, what is he, 6'6", 6'7"?
Tallest umpire in the game. You'd think that'd be in his wheelhouse.
2-2 on Perez. Travis Shaw, the Brewers' regular third baseman, has been bothered by a sore right wrist lately, so that gives Perez, the utility infielder, a chance to start at third.
Nice to have a player like him. We've talked about multi-positional players. He's started 6 positions this year. Second base, left field, third, short, right, and 1 in center.
Got him with a slider down and away. So on one hand, Junis strikes out the side. On the other hand, he gives up 2 runs and throws 29 pitches. T-Mobile Home Run Derby on ESPN July 16th. And then baseball's biggest stars at the 89th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard. That's July 17th on Fox. And you can go to Royals.com to start voting your Royals in to that All-Star Game. With Salvador Perez leading off, we can show you that right now Salvi is 4th in the voting. Wilson Ramos of Tampa Bay getting a lot of love from the voters this year. Oh, 0-2 on Salvi, whose average has dropped down to 218. He is just 10 for his last 66. That is 152. And Pena, you talk about a high target. He missed the target and still got a strikeout. Pena was almost standing up there. That's how high he wanted that fastball. And Peralta didn't come close, but he still threw a strike.
Yep, there he is. He knows how successful he can be up there, but that was off the plate enough. Salvi thought it was away. Jordan Baker hung him up.
So Peralta's faced 4 and struck out 3.
Salvi knows he's got to start going to right field more. He knows that. Very conscious of it.
And that was a pitch he could go to right field with.
Yep.
Lucas Duda with 1 out and nobody on. He drove in the first run yesterday in the Royals 2-0 victory.
Lucas was telling me before the game today that him and his teammates were watching a lot of video on this young man, Freddie Peralta. Said he throws across his body. He's tough to pick up his release point. And it seems like has a little rising effect and one up in his zone.
he make contact? He did. With a check swing, so 2 balls, 2 strikes.
When you have an arm angle like that, you throw across your body. That last pitch there, it looked like it rose. We know it's impossible, but check it out. This is what a hitter's seeing. See how it has a little riding effect to it because of what you mentioned, that the spin rate on this fastball. And the angle it's coming out.
That's a swing. So he has struck out 4 of 5. 2 down in the 2nd inning.
Knew he'd be tough if he was on tonight. And sure enough, hitters having a hard time picking him up.
Got a name for you. You'd know better than anybody. I'm not comparing stuff, but does his motion remind you at all of Frankie Rodriguez?
Wow. You know what? There's some similarities. Frankie was a little bit, he flung his arms a little bit more, and he flung his glove hand out before he pitched, but similar, yeah. He had a great career.
Which included being here in Milwaukee.
How he falls off kind of violently to the first base side like that. So there are some similarities. He wishes he had his breaking ball, though. Who doesn't? This slider fell out of the sky. Especially when he came out of nowhere his rookie year and helped the Angels win a World Series. In 02 with Big John Lackey. Was
another rookie.
The youngest to ever win a Game 7 World Series. 1 of 3, I think, Lackey won in his career.
3-0 on Alex Gordon. 3 balls and 1 strike. Alex was 1 for 3 with a double yesterday, so he has reached in 9 straight games, and his on-base percentage is over .450 during that stretch.
See him take him opposite field right here. Alex is going pretty good right now.
Look out, Mitch Meyer.
That's the first time we've seen Mitch duck this year. That gets on you in a hurry. He was supposed to, that pitch was supposed to be outside. And it wasn't. Look at Mitch just minding his own business there.
And those of you that love Rusty Kuntz and you wonder why he's not still the Royals' first base coach, that's why. No swing. Alex is on with a 2-out walk.
Yeah, that exit velo that went over Meyer's head was 108.
Mitch was on the ground with his heart coming out of his jersey after that line drive. Somewhere Rusty was on the ground laughing.
Woo! Easy to laugh up here, but that's moving pretty quick.
And that's why they wear helmets now.
Exactly.
Alcides Escobar got a nice ovation as the stadium PA announcer was going through the starting lineups. They remember him making his big league debut with the Brewers before that trade to the Royals. Esky got his first major league start, and as Esky said, his first lifetime start at third base yesterday. Boy, he comes at you with a lot of pitches. Fastball, changeup, slider, big looping curveball.
So far, he's mixing them up. And that's a great variation of speeds there. Good change.
Hit in the air to right field. Thames took a step back and now comes in to end the 2nd inning. 2-0 Milwaukee.
dugout. And Eske said he enjoyed third base yesterday, but he said, man, I had to play deep because that gets scary with all those guys hitting. Now, when you look at Eske at shortstop, nice easy play for Junis there. There have been, since Eske got to Kansas City, 22 different second basemen. That's 22 different double play partners he's had. This is the 61st game for Adalberto Mondesi. And as far as Mondesi goes, Eske says he can do it all. He moves well. He does everything out there well, very athletic and can play anywhere on the field. Eske says he'll conform to whoever's out there as his partner, but he really enjoys playing with Adalberto Mondesi.
Kid me, play with an athlete like that, and that's a lot of fun. Talking with Mondesi today, he feels the same way about Escobar. He's really proud of him, calls him his big brother. And Eske has meant a lot to Mondesi. Joel, way to go. He's excited to be in the big leagues and playing again and getting a chance more regularly. He's a lot like our guy Herrera in right field as far as that exuberance. He just contains it a little bit better.
Here's Manny Pena, a one-time Royal. Pena bounced around quite a bit in his career, and last year became the Brewers' primary catcher as a 30-year-old. He was on the disabled list when the Brewers were at Kauffman Stadium at the end of April with a calf injury.
You know, 30 years old is old. It can be older for any professional sports, but in baseball, a lot of guys just hit their prime about that area. So he's got some years left as long as he can stay healthy.
So Junis has given up 2 runs, 2 hits, and now 2 walks. And now he'll face the pitcher, Freddie Peralta. Walks were a little bit of an issue for him Wednesday against the Rangers. Tied a career high with 4. Still finished with a quality start. Gave up 3 earned runs in 6 innings. It was a grinding start for him in that he didn't have his best stuff, but he still was able to pull it together. And he had to just fight through it and ended up with a quality start.
Yeah, you know, in most of his starts, he's always kept his team in the game. And, you know, lack of run support, obviously, the fact that he's had a losing streak. But look at the defense here. When a pitcher comes up in the National League rules, this is what you do, how you defend him. Corners crash in the infield, and the outfield is swung way over to the right side because typically pitchers are behind the pitches that come to them, so they're going to hit the ball to the opposite field.
As a hitter, he is 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts. He does not have a sacrifice bunt yet. And another thing about the pitcher hitting in the National League, just because there's 2 strikes doesn't mean the bunt isn't on anymore. So the Royals will still be alert, whereas in the American League, with the very rare exception, you get to 2 strikes and the infield will move back to their normal depth.
You're not getting a chance to hit very much. It can be rough on a pitcher. He's a little bit nervous, that ball coming at him, and he's exposed like that.
That is 4 strikeouts for Junis.
See how tentative he is. He's got good position to start there. The barrel's above the hands, the bottom of the hand. That's good. But you know, then when it goes down, obviously you're going to miss that. But he was a little bit nervous because you're exposed when you're facing a pitcher like that, and you're looking right down the barrel, and you're a little bit jumpy. You don't have a lot of experience there.
And now Eric Thames. Junis struck him out with 3 pitches in the bottom of the 1st inning. Came back from the disabled list, Thames did, with a trimmed beard. He is a man and a half.
No question.
I mean, with that guard on his arm, I mean, he looks like one of the Transformers.
He does. He's very strong. You know, and when he made that play at first base at the K, and he rolled over his glove, and you said, hey, look, you know what? We've seen guys bust their thumb like that or pop that ligament off. And sure enough, that's what it was. He stayed in the game, and then when he caught it out, he made an expression. It hurt. And sure, when the ligament's off the bone, it hurts. And so then I went in the next day and saw him and talked to him and introduced myself and got to meet him. Nice guy. Just shared with him about my glove hand ligament and thumb being popped off too, and shared with him how I felt about it. And he was telling me that they were going to wait, go get some tests. And I said, you know what? If you don't have your hands, what Frank Robinson told me, if you don't have your hands and you're a ball player, you're in trouble. Go get it fixed. And he did. And he was really cordial and sharing and talking, and take a little 6-week break.
Salvi wanted that. Junis was walking off the mound. He thought that was going to be an inning strikeout.
Salvi made it look good.
Salvi wants Junis to throw over to first base.
Pena's jumping around over there like he's a base stealer.
Catcher makes that sign like he's flipping marbles, and that's a sign to throw over to first. Junis strikes him out again, so Junis has struck out 5 in his 2 innings. Peralta has struck out 4 in his 2 innings. Two 2-0 Milwaukee. It's the scene outside where it's been raining off and on. It's in the mid-60s outside of Miller Park. Inside, comfortable 70 degrees. Adalberto Mondesi will lead off against Freddie Peralta. Mondesi walked and scored a run in the 8th inning yesterday, giving the Royals a 2-0 lead, coming home on a Roselle Herrera single. 1 ball, 1 strike. ripped into right field. Mondesi got on top of a hanging breaking ball, and he's going to dig for 2 on Thames, and he's in there.
Nice to see. When he smoked this ball, a breaking ball at the top of the zone, he got on his horse. He said, you know what? It's not going to make it to the wall, but he can't beat me. He's going to have to make a perfect throw. Love how he cut the corner. That's important. He does a nice job of cutting that corner so he can make it a nice, easier carve around to second base.
We'll see if Jacob Junis can get a bunt down. The first baseman, Aguilar, after that pitch was thrown, could have reached out and touched Jacob Junis, shake his hand if he wanted to.
Yeah, that's, you know, these young guys, you don't know if they have a little butcher boy in them, and a butcher boy is when they fake the bunt, pull back and slash. You know, that's a little bit nervy, no doubt, but he's not afraid. He knows that Junis hasn't seen a lot of pitching either.
Jacob has 4 major league at-bats, all resulted in strikeouts. And he got the bunt down. Aguilar is going to go to third, and Mondesi is out.
That's exactly why he crashes that way. And I talked about him before the game. Being 300 pounds, you would think, well, you know what? He's not that agile. No, he's a shortstop in a big man's body. Look at that. Bare-hands it coming in there and makes a perfect throw. You can't see a lot of first basemen that have been in the league a long time make a play like that. That's one heck of a play. You can't blame Mondesi for that. No way he had to be perfect with everything to get him out. And he was.
So a runner at first, 1 out. Popped up to right field. Thames brings it down, 2 away. That'll bring up Roselle Herrera. If the Royals hit a triple in tonight's game, the Kansas City Honda dealers will make a $1,000 donation to the KC Urban Youth Academy. Herrera grounded out to Aguilar at first base in the first inning. One ball and no strikes. Two balls and no strikes. So far we've only seen Herrera in the outfield in a Royals uniform, but Medios expects him to use him on the infield as well. He can play second base, short, and third. That'll be out of play.
And the fact that he's a switch hitter, boy, that sure is valuable. And you know, you got to believe, and I'm sure he believes, his minor league days are over. I mean, he had right at close to 3,000 at bats in the minors in his 9 years. He's accomplished, and what he's shown here, he has big league talent. There's no doubt about it. He's learned all he can learn down there.
And that's well hit into left center field, but slicing over to Braun, and Peralta works around the Mondesi leadoff double. Every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools. So play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. And by Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. Find yours at your Kansas City area Chevy dealers. 2-0 Milwaukee on a Christian Yelich home run. No Lorenzo Cain in our University of Kansas Health System injury report update. I had a chance to fly in today, and there are a lot of Royals fans on the plane who are excited about coming to Milwaukee and watching the Royals and seeing Lorenzo Cain. I'm not going to get a chance to at least see him playing in this brief 2-game series. A left groin strain, but providing some emotional support and a laugh or two in the Brewers dugout over on the first base side.
Yeah, you know what? He's made such a big difference to these guys this season. His leadership, and of course his pedigree, his World Championship, back-to-back years of the World Series. But he's fun, and I'm sure Council's happy that he's going to be with the team in the dugout at least, keeping him loose. It's an important role for him. Saw him out earlier in batting practice saying hi to the Royals. I'm sure they were happy to see him as well.
Ryan Braun, Christian Yelich, and Jesus Aguilar in the 3rd inning. Braun doubled in front of Yelich's home run in the 1st. That was a double to left field. Despite that double, Braun hasn't been swinging the bat well lately. And he's without an RBI in his last 10 games. Slow roller to the right side. Duda to Junis. One away.
Nicely done.
And now Christian Yelich. His home run in the 1st inning. Counted for the only 2 runs so far tonight.
I'll say he went opposite field. That ball was driven. It was powdered out there, man. It was hit hard. And there it was, the top of the zone, the fastball again. Yelich didn't miss it. Let the ball travel.
And he does not miss many fastballs this year. Our Kubota Power Stats. 380 going back to the All-Star break last year. It's the best in the major leagues. If you're going to throw him a fastball, you better make sure it's in a good spot.
And you'll be a successful major league hitter if you can hit a fastball. Big league fastball.
On the seat to the middle. 2 outs. Junis at 49 pitches could use a quick inning. He had a long 1st inning, giving up a couple of runs. He also struck out the side in that 1st inning, and then had a walk and 2 more strikeouts in the 2nd. And now he gets Aguilar with 2 outs and nobody on. Good slider in for a strike. Drilled to deep center field. Lit to the wall, and it's gone. Home runs for Jesus Aguilar, and he's done that in just a little over 2 months.
No doubt he's become a fan favorite here. Watch him. Look at the front foot. He just on his tippy toe. And that's a slider. He waited. Now he struck him out on a slider his last at bat, but this one caught a little bit too much of the plate, and he went with it. But very impressive, the fact that He hits home runs to all parts of the park. He's not a one-dimensional type of power hitter.
Miller hits a bullet into center field. He's on with 2 down. And now Jacob Junis has given up 21 home runs. That is the most in the major leagues. 2 tonight to Yelich in the first, and now Aguilar in the third. Hernan Perez takes outside. Junis struck him out in the first inning. Sliced up the right field line and back into the first row. Mentioned in the first inning when Junis took the mound, it was trying to put an end to a personal 5-game losing streak. So this was coming into tonight. High ERA, 8 home runs allowed, and not that Jacob is pointing to this for a reason, but only 7 runs of support, total runs of support over those 5 starts.
Yeah, no, I know that's one of the reasons his offense really isn't helping.
Playable for Witt, and that'll do it. So Aguilar homers, and at the end of 3, Milwaukee leads 3-0. Limited tickets remain beginning on Monday's opening day through Thursday's opening round. But you better act quickly. Go to PGAchampionship.com. 2 home runs and 3 runs for Milwaukee. Jesus Aguilar just homered in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Freddie Peralta has 3 scoreless innings. He struck out 4 of the first 5 and worked around a leadoff double last inning. He'll get Moustakas, Perez, and Duda in the 4th. Had a play 0-2 on Moustakas, who went down swinging at a slider in the 1st inning. Ball in on his hands. Moustakas is still on pace to drive in 100 runs for the first time in his career. His numbers have tailed off a bit this month. His 2 home runs and 9 driven in June. Some of that, as we've shown you, has been the result of some bad luck. His line drive rate is actually better this month than it was in April or May. But quite a few of those hard hit balls have landed in gloves instead of finding the grass or the other side of the wall. And that's hit hard to center field. So another example right there. Hit it right on the button, but right to Yelich. And there's one down in the 4th inning.
Fans celebrate the 4th of July at the K with an Independence Day fireworks spectacular after the Royals host the Indians at 7:15. Don't miss the show. Get your tickets now at Royals.com. Another example, and Bruce is all over it. And that was a breaking ball. But not too many Royals have squared up the fastball yet.
Curveball's in for a strike. Salvador Perez took a called 3rd strike on a fastball in the 2nd inning. It's been a rough June for the Royals offense. I'll just move on. It's been a rough June for the team. Royals are just 4-18 in June. Runs have been a problem. John Jay, who was a nice catalyst at the top of the order, traded away. Lucas Duda has spent most of this month on the disabled list. Jorge Soler's on the disabled list. Royals will be getting Jorge Bonifacio back soon.
Yeah, that's good. You know, there definitely are some reasons, but it's given up another opportunities for other guys as well.
Bonifacio is eligible to rejoin the Royals over the weekend in Seattle.
Oh, good.
And the news has not been great in regard to Cheslor Cuthbert. He's been out for a while now, and we're hearing he's doing baseball activities in Arizona. Five strikeouts for Peralta, and there are 2 down in the 4th inning.
Check out the Mo Lottery replay again. Hard to pick up the fastball. That's where Peralta gets most of them, up in the upper part of the zone. You can live up there with 95 and 96 like we see very often with the power arms of the modern era and the modern day pitcher. But for him at 92, 93, sometimes that's dangerous territory for a major league hitter. But his movement, the lack of the hitters able to pick up the release point or the reasons.
Duda struck out on a slider in the 2nd inning. No balls, 2 strikes. Peralta's one of those guys, if we shut down the radar gun by the reaction of the hitters, I would be assuming 95, 96, occasionally 97.
Exactly.
And that was 93, but he tied up Duda and has a 1-2-3 top of the 4th inning.
on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Royals.
And there are a lot of Royals fans here. And the surprise of that is that it's in the middle of the week, tonight and tomorrow afternoon.
You said you had a straight shot here, though, right? Well, that's good. A lot of folks take advantage of that. Didn't take too long. It's a good-looking park. And you know, when you're coming here, just like Seattle, you know you're going to get a game in, regardless of the weather.
That little guy's so excited he can't sit down. Two on Jonathan VR. He grounded back to Junis in the second inning. VR, Pena, and then the pitcher Peralta. Brewers have hit 2 home runs for a 3-0 lead. And now ground ball back to the middle. Mondesi backhands and threw him out, showing off his range and his arm.
What a play. That was spectacular. I mean to tell you, throwing across his body, going full speed to the dugout. I mean, that was sweet. It had a lot of velo on it. Look at Duda. He's going to the bag saying, all right, let's see who gets it. He just kind of flipped it over there. Outstanding range and throwing arm.
I don't know if you're like me, Hud, but you watch a game every day and you watch a team every day. A ball is put in play, and it's almost like there's a template on the field, and I immediately think to myself, okay, that's an out, or that's a play that's probably not going to be made. When that ball was hit, I thought that was going to be a hit.
Looked like there wasn't going to be anybody get to it.
Yep.
But that's the quickness and the first step of young guys that have that kind of speed like Mondesi. You know, that first step, you can be at full speed and catch up on a lot of balls like that. But you know what? You got to have the other side. You got to have that arm. And the way he just flung it across his body going the other ways was showing some tremendous athleticism.
There's a high strike. 2-2 on Pena. He walked in the second inning.
You know, and for the Royals to give Mondesi his major league debut in a World Series game, becoming the first and only ever to do that in the history of baseball, you knew he had to have some kind of skill set. You know, he had to have something special about him, and he has. He just has not been able to stay healthy, and one of the reasons why he hasn't been a regular up till now. He certainly would have been here sooner.
Now Escobar cutting in front of Mondesi. 2 outs.
All right, let's brag on him a little bit more. Let's watch the release. Watch the release point. I mean, when he gets in his glove and he lets go of it. I mean, like, there's no time at all there. Throwing distance was long, exchange. I mean, look at the man. He just rolled it up, got it out of his hand, out of his glove before he knew it. Thief-like hands.
Peralta tried to bunt his first time up and ended up striking out on a bunt attempt. Grounds it out to Duda, and Junis has his first 1-2-3 inning. We played 4 in Milwaukee. The Brewers lead 3-0. his big league career, but this is his home debut, and he hasn't disappointed yet. He has struck out 5 in 4 scoreless innings, and he has only given up 1 hit. Here's the Pizza Ranch for the win pitching line for the 22-year-old. He has walked 1 and allowed the 1 hit, so the Royals have just 2 base runners in the first 4 innings, and they'll send up Gordon, Escobar, and Mondesi in the 5th. Peralta's from the Mariners organization. He signed him in 2013 out of the Dominican Republic, and then 2 years later he was traded here for Adam Lind. Curveball's in for a strike to Alex Gordon. He was on with a walk back in the 2nd.
This young man could be quite a find for Milwaukee. Sometimes you make that trade, you're not really sure, especially with a pitcher, like you said earlier, not that big in stature. But you just don't know until you see the success he's having against major league hitters, the best in the world, with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball up in the zone. It just really doesn't make sense. Those are elevated pitches that are meant to be hit out of the park. And then he comes down with a hammer and makes it even tougher.
That's 6 for Peralta and 11 strikeouts already for the 2 pitchers combined. Reminds me, different conditions, but back in 2001, it was the first year of this stadium, and that's glass behind the signage boards there. And the first year of this ballpark, they didn't have those shades. I mean, literally like blinds in a house to take the sun out. That was just nothing but glass. And the Royals were here, and the lights went out for a night game. So it was a suspended game. And we came back the next day to play a day-night doubleheader to complete the suspended game. And the game started, I think, at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And they were learning about this new ballpark. And the sun was coming right through all that glass out there. And the benefactor was Blake Stein. Royals fans might remember that name. He struck out 8 Brewers in a row, tying an American League record. And taking nothing away from Blake. He's big and strong, and he could strike guys out. But I mean, the hitters couldn't see. I mean, the sun was reflecting off, 50 glass panels out there, and so, and they had never started a game at that time. So that's something they don't have to worry about now with those shades. But they do have the option here of, when the roof is closed, they can, the natural sunlight can still come into the ballpark. Yeah, 8 in a row. Wow. Ended up with 11 strikeouts total in that game. Seven strikeouts for Freddie Peralta, and now a combined 12. Peralta and Junis.
Well, there shouldn't be any issues how you're seeing the ball here, but obviously it's all about Peralta and his stuff. Able to take a lot off of that curveball.
Here's Mondesi with 2 down. He is the only hit for the Royals. And that was a leadoff double in the 3rd inning. And then Junis tried to put down a bunt. And the first baseman, Aguilar, was about 20 feet away from home plate. And Junis bunted it to Aguilar, who made a nice play and threw out Mondesi trying to go to 3rd. That's really the only Royals scoring opportunity so far.
But they might have been able to get Mondesi in from 3rd had Aguilar not made such a perfect play. I mean, he was in, and maybe Junis could have bunted to the 3rd baseman. It wouldn't have happened. But the play he made barehanded was really good.
There you go again, where the swing doesn't match the radar.
Check it out. But running like that, and to be able to angle your body and pick up the bare hand and not bobble it, and then look where the throw was, right there. I mean, that was perfect. That definitely was the play of the game. so far.
He strikes out the side in the 5th, and that is 8 in the game. With your student ID, you can enjoy a happy hour special at the Boulevard Grill concession stand and listen to live local music before the game. High Lux or Luke's on Wednesday, July 4th. Royals.com/student for the full list of bands and for tickets. This will be the 3rd time through the order for Jacob Junis. He's given up 3 runs, 4 hits, 2 home runs. He has struck out 5, including Eric Thames twice. 1 looking and 1 swinging, both on a slider. Late on a fastball, 0-1. And now a base hit into left field. Gordon cuts it off. Thames is on with a leadoff single. And it's time for our sprint trivia question. Name the only player with more hits than Ryan Braun in the National League since he made his debut in 2007.
Wow. All right.
It's a good one.
It is.
Merrifield to the track, and it's gone. And that is the 3rd home run of the game for the Brewers. All 5 of their runs have been on home runs. And that's 22 allowed by Jacob Junis this year.
Slider up. He knew it.
That's a good looking swing to take a right-hand batter to take a breaking ball from a right-hander and go the other way. I mean, how many guys would be tempted to try and pull that ball?
Yeah, it is. You're right. And that ball was on the inner half too. It wasn't like, you know, it was a ball out on the outer half. He purposely kept his inside hand in and barreled it. He's a talented hitter.
That's one of the reasons why only one hitter has more hits than him since 2007.
That's right.
In the National League. He has 2 hits tonight. Christian Yelich has 2 hits tonight. His first was a 2-run home run. And the Brewers greet Jacob Junis with 3 straight hits in the bottom of the 5th inning. To loosen up in the bullpen. That's out beyond the wall in right center field. Jesus Aguilar has one of the home runs. That was a solo shot to center field with 2 down in the 3rd inning. His 17th. Oh, 0-2. Ball, 2 strikes.
Look at Aguilar, just sits up on that left foot, just on his tippy toe there. Waits on the backside. Junis got it.
That is 6 for Junis, and the second time he has struck out Aguilar.
All 6 strikeouts have been with the slider tonight, as noted.
Any thoughts on the trivia question?
I got a few names.
Yeah, I got a few too.
You know what? Is he still active? It's not a guy that's retired.
I don't know if that's a clue they're going to give us yet. Yelich goes, and he just got his left hand in there.
Good jump. Excellent jump. Look at him go to the far part of that bag with his hand. I don't know how long Paul Goldschmidt has been in the league, but he can hit. He's got a lot of hits. I don't know how long he's been there. Braun's been there, what, 10 years now? So if he's...
Well, that would be Braun's 12th year.
12th. Yeah, if he's still active, the guy, that would help.
What about Chase Utley?
I was thinking about Chase Utley.
I've got Chase Utley, Ryan Zimmerman, Jose Reyes, Adrian Gonzalez.
Good. I got Yachty. Yachty probably would be. Posey. Those are good guys that get a lot of hits.
They don't quite go back to 07.
No, they don't.
Posey was Rookie of the Year in 10. Well, we both were thinking about Utley. How about Chase Utley? How about Chase Utley? Strike one. Miller walks for a second time. That's 3 allowed by Junis. And now Ned Yost and Cal Eldred with Dale Swain are deep in conversation. Really like to get Junis through this inning because his spot is coming up to lead off the top of the 6th inning. So if you make a pitching change here, you'll have to make another pitching change unless Ned Yost, that's one of his relievers, lead off the 6th. Brian Flynn standing there waiting for the call.
No, you'd like to be able to get a couple innings out of Flynn at least, maybe more. But Junis can roll one up. He hasn't deuced 4 ground ball double plays this year.
Gets a strikeout, so 7 for Junis in 4 2/3 innings.
Another slider did the trick. All 7 on the slider.
Joey Votto.
Great call.
He just walks so much. I mean, he's walking 100 times every year. So the on-base percentage is great. I don't know how many hits he gets. Has grounded back to the mound and then grounded out to Mondesi, who made a nice play going to the middle. And another ground ball. This one more routine for Mondesi. So Junis gets through 5. His spot is coming up in the 6th inning. Milwaukee leads 5-0. Celebration event and get a great deal today. "5-0 Milwaukee," and Freddie Peralta has allowed 1 hit in 5 innings and he has struck out 8. Abraham Almonte will bat in the pitcher spot for Junis. And he'll lead off our Sonic Slam inning. It'll be Almonte, Merrifield, and Herrera. No balls, 1 strike.
Here we go.
Our contestant tonight is Todd Mercer from Harrisonville. If the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, Todd wins $3,100. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Todd wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Royals. 1-1.
2 for 7 off the bench, and he's swinging at the first pitch. That's nice. He's in the game. Almonte. Get some guys on. Or maybe they can get Peralta off his kilter and even walk a few guys. Maybe get some runners. Need a big hit.
So Junis goes 5 and allows 5 runs, 7 hits, 3 home runs. On Almonte. Peralta has walked 1. That was Gordon back in the 2nd inning. And this will be his 80th pitch. Three and 2. And again, the radar gun does not match the reaction of the hitter. That was 90 miles an hour right down the middle. Nine strikeouts for Peralta. That'll bring us to Whit Merrifield, who is 0 for 2. Interesting, Whit has now played 300 games. And he is one of 5 players going back to 1920 who, in his first 300 games, we'll go through the numbers here after this pitch. It's an interesting collection of numbers for Whit. So one of 5 players since 1920 in their first 300 games with at least a .285 batting average, at least 330 hits, 150 runs, 75 doubles, and 75 stolen bases.
Impressive.
1 of 5.
Impressive. No question. Our next trivia question will be who the other 4.
Well, then we're in good shape because I know who they are.
Okay, thank you.
Caught by Yelich in center field, 2 down in the 6th inning. Roselle Herrera has grounded out to first and lined to left. A little bit outside, ball 1. Peralta has gotten an out, facing the last 11 Royals hitters, going back to Mondesi's leadoff double in the 3rd inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two and 1. Three balls, 1 strike. Mike Moustakas is on deck.
Down by 5. See if you can maybe take one here. See if you can get Milk a walk. Get him into some trouble. He did. He's hacking. Right down the middle.
To VR at second base. And now Peralta's gotten an out against the last 12 Royals who have come to the plate. Brian Flynn will pitch the bottom of the 6th. Milwaukee leads 5-0. The result of a home run, our Dodge drive to the game. That was Yelich. That was worth 2 in the first inning. Jesus Aguilar, a solo blast in the 3rd, and then Ryan Braun, 2-run shot in the 5th. And before the game even started, the Brewers were 4th in their league in home runs. They have now hit 98, and Jacob Junis has given up 22. That's the most in the major leagues. So he's out after 5 innings, and Brian Flynn will get the bottom of the 6th inning. The Chevy call to the bullpen.
Flynn going to attack, keeps the ball down. He's got a good, hard, heavy sinker. Attack it down low. Fastball, slider, curve change. He's got 4 pitches. He works it all off that big 6'7" frame.
And 1 strike on Manny Pena, who was walked and grounded out to short. Manny played parts of 2 seasons with the Royals, and we got to see his first big league hit back in 2011 against Jeremy Guthrie and the Orioles before Guthrie became a Royal. No big league appearances in 13, 14, or 15. And then he played in 33 games with the Brewers in 16, and then became their primary catcher last year. I was telling you earlier, at the age of 30.
It's a long wait.
One and 2. Called up by the Royals, Brian Pena was catching, so we had Pena and Pena. And then Salvador Perez was called up later in the year, and we had Pena, and Perez. things you talk about in a 5-0 game in the 6th inning. So let's go to Joel.
When you come to Milwaukee, someone you talk about often is the guy that wore number 19, Robin Yount. His number's retired here, and Dale Swain today reflecting in a conversation with me about the first time that he met Robin Yount. Think about this, guys. Dale Swain made his big league debut with the Brewers when he was 22 years old, but he said he first met Robin when he was 19 years old. He was in spring training. They called him up just to be an extra body with the big leaguers. He says, and there I am as a 19-year-old taking ground balls at shortstop with Robin Yount, one of the best players. He said that, and they were 8 years apart, that they would go on to be some of the absolute best friends. He said that's his best friend in baseball, best teammate he's ever had, best leader, hardest worker. They bonded back then in spring training over conversations about dirt bikes and motocross, which Robin Yount loved, and motorcycles. But for Dale Swain, growing up in California, he had similar interests. Both guys very talented, both guys understated and quiet. And so they have been great friends, and 36 years later, still great friends. They went and played golf this morning at Whistling Straits, one of the best golf courses in the state of Wisconsin and in the country. So a long-time friendship between those two.
And then, in 2012, Robin Yount accidentally shot Dale Swain in a hunting accident. They were quail hunting.
What?
And by the end of the day, they had to start pulling pellets out of Dale's back and behind his right ear. That's when you know you've got a good friend.
Wow, I had never heard that.
You know, looking at those highlights, you know, Dale was going to be really good, and he broke his leg. He had an ugly outfield collision with the late Darrell Hamilton. And it took him a couple of years to come back. Thames hits it to the base of the wall in right center field. He'll jog into second base with 2 outs. That was back in 1988. Dale missed the rest of that year, all of 1989, and some wondered if he'd ever play again. He did come back, but speed was part of his game, and defense, and just was never able to move after he broke his left leg.
Sure adds a lot to the coaching staff.
You know, next time we play the Indians, go ask Terry Francona that story. I've read that that was a huge inspiration for Terry Francona when he was a teammate of Dale Swain, watching him rehab and come back from that horrific broken leg.
Ooh. He's a tough guy. You know that. What a good baseball man. Smart. He's a man's man. That's what you call a guy like him.
Ryan Braun has 2 hits, 2 runs, and 2 RBIs. One of his hits is a home run. You want to take another shot at our trivia question here?
Thought about Andrew McCutchen, MVP. He's got a lot of hits, been around for a while. Also thought about Jimmy Rollins, who's retired. He got a lot of hits as a shortstop in the National League. But
pick one.
All right, let's go with Andrew McCutchen.
Andrew McCutchen, strike 2. I like your Jimmy Rollins suggestion. We've discussed Joey Votto. What do you think about Adrian Gonzalez?
Right fielder for the Rockies.
Nope, that's Carlos Gonzalez.
Okay.
I'm talking about the first baseman for the Padres, Dodgers, and
oh yeah,
just got released by the Mets.
Good. That's a good call.
We only have 1 strike left.
I know. Be nice if they could let us know if he's active or retired. That helps a lot.
Well,
1 strike
we
left.
do get challenges. You can ask for a hint. Braun takes a walk. So with 2 outs, the Brewers get a double and a walk. And that'll bring up Christian Yelich, who has one of the 3 Brewers home runs tonight. Yelich's home run was to the opposite field. In fact, the Brewers, of their 3 home runs, none of them have been pulled. Yelich opposite field, Aguilar to center field, and Braun the other way to right center field. One ball, 1 strike from Flynn, who has not pitched in 8 days. Last on the mound back on June the 18th against the Rangers. Two balls and 1 strike. All right, come on, let's come up with one here. You like those 4?
Strike.
You like those 3? Rollins, Votto, and Gonzalez. What about Jose Reyes? He got a lot of hits, didn't he?
Yep.
But then he was kind of a non-factor for a couple of years.
I'm waiting for a hint, some kind of hint.
I don't think we're going to get it today. 3 balls, 1 strike. Rollins hasn't had a lot of hits the last few years. Notice I'm going to scratch him off the list.
That's good. Adrian Gonzalez might be a good choice. But he was injured. He had some injuries, you know, was missed for some time.
Yep. He had some back problems. So what do you think, Joey Votto?
Yeah, go ahead.
Joey Votto. Strike 3. We're out. All right. Brandon Phillips.
Wow.
That's the 2nd or 3rd time that we did not think about Brandon Phillips.
Wow.
Great question.
That was an awesome question.
Sometimes, as big leaguers say, Hud, you just have to tip your cap.
That's right. Well, I was going to say another 2 words that are used a lot. Hang with them. Or is that 3 words? I heard that a lot, Mike. Hang with them.
Back to a tie. The sun was clearly in the west when that picture was taken.
Yeah, I'm not real thrilled with my shot they used either. I could have used some makeup there. A little shiny.
Runners go. Yelich fouls it back. Salvi, the pitch before, may have taken a shot. The home plate umpire, Jordan Baker, was trying to make sure he was all right.
Same forearm. That forearm has been taking a beat in the last week. That's about the 3rd one we've seen.
Thames is at second, Braun's at first. They are running, and it's grounded sharply to Mondesi. And he still has time to get Yelich. That's how hard that ball was hit.
What a nice recovery. Wow. Again, that's 2 plays. Going to his right, throwing across his body. Excellent.
and Mexico taking on Sweden. That's at 8 a.m. on Fox. Or you can stream it all live on the Fox Sports app.
Viva la Mexico!
Is that your team?
I'd like to see him win.
Pitch number 90 is fouled away. Freddie Peralta has struck out 9. He has gotten an out against the last 12 Royals. Mike Moustakas has one of the few hard hit balls so far tonight.
You know, I knew Peralta was going to be interesting to try to get to, and I didn't think he would be this dominant, though.
Moustakas struck out in the first and then lined to center in the fourth. I've only got 3 hard hit balls tonight for the Royals in 6 innings. Good spot, 2-2, and that, at least according to my scorecard, Mondesi's double in the third. Herrera's line to left in the third, and then Moustakas line to center in the fourth.
That's all I got.
Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitches, and Craig Counsell is on the phone with his bullpen. Jammed, and that's the shortstop Miller making the play.
Fans, join fellow country music fans at the Royals' first ever country music night on Friday, July 6th. Purchase a themed ticket to receive an exclusive Royals cowboy hat and enjoy country music played at the K as the Royals host the Red Sox. Don't miss the summer fireworks show after the game, featuring all country music hits. You'll love it.
Outside to Salvador Perez. He has struck out twice against Peralta. He's a handful, man. Fastball, and you can ignore the radar gun based on the swings. Hard slider, that big curveball, changeup. Watch Manny Pena, no swing. That's Greg Gibson, the first base umpire. Watch Manny Pena. We've seen catchers, they will look at the hitter when they put the sign down to make sure they're not peeking.
Yep.
He makes sure that Salvi's not peeking on location. Of course, he didn't do it that time. Yelich waits in center field. The 2 pitches before that, he had put the sign down, and then he set himself outside, and as Peralta was beginning his motion, he was looking at Salvador Perez. So one catcher making sure another catcher isn't peeking to find location.
Yep. That's one of the things they do amongst many. There's a lot of the things that Ivan Rodriguez, Hall of Fame catcher, he used to pound his glove inside near you and kind of up so you would hear it, thinking that he's calling for a fastball, and then he would shuffle his feet and move. You could hear his feet and feel his feet. So there's a lot of tricks they do back there.
Oh, 0-2 on Duda. 10 strikeouts for Freddie Peralta in his home debut, and he's going to get a standing ovation as he leaves the mound after 7 scoreless innings. Hurry into the Jeep Celebration event and get a great deal today. 5-0 Milwaukee. They have won the first 2 games with the Royals, a home-home series. And tonight they've hit 3 home runs, and they have 7 scoreless innings from Freddie Peralta. He has struck out 10 and gotten it out from the last 15 Royals. And they're working in the Brewers bullpen, so that's most likely it for the 22-year-old. Second inning for Brian Flynn. He allowed a 2-out double and then a walk in the 6th inning, but got out of it. One and one on Jesus Aguilar. He's a pitcher the Royals are very familiar with. Dan Jennings, who spent a lot of time with the White Sox. We saw him earlier this year. The Brewers were at KC. 1-2 on Aguilar. He is 1 for 3. Jacob Junis struck him out twice, and Aguilar hit a solo home run to center field. Fair ball inside the line and all the way down into the corner. It's a tough play for a right fielder because you have that angle down there, Hud. You got to make sure it doesn't ricochet into shallow right field, and then you can chase it into the corner.
No doubt about it. And Aguilar, he's able to just barely keep that ball fair right by the bag, and he sees it in front of him. Now another player probably could have gotten 3 out of it. You see it bounce once, and it's going to hit again. Yeah, that's excellent how Rosie played that off the wall.
And now Brad Miller, who has 2 walks and a single. Got to give Dave Holtzman a little bit of love here. With Miller with the Brewers, he wondered how many guys have the same last name as the stadium they're playing in, or first name, and there have only been 5. Mondesi throws out Miller. Aguilar goes to third. So 2 with the Brewers. Brad Miller and the catcher Damian Miller. Esmail Rogers Played for the Blue Jays at Rogers Center. Kevin King, that's a little bit of a stretch. King Dome after King County. And Chase Anderson played at Chase Field, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's been some Angels. What about Angel Stadium?
Didn't play for the Angels. Just like Steve Metrodome never played for the Twins. So he doesn't qualify.
Okay. Infield in. Flynn, he's a ground ball pitcher, but his sinker's working.
Frank Guaranteed Rate never played for the White Sox. So they're out there, but they had to play for the home team in that stadium.
Okay.
Two and one on Perez. Caught by Escobar. We had very little reaction time. Two down. Refreshing saves from Price Chopper on Aquafina. Register at mypricechopper.com/saves and save when the Royals record a save. Jonathan VR as a left-hand batter, grounded out 3 times. And now the infield can relax and move to their normal depth. Runner at third, 2 down. Out to Escobar, getting over. So Flynn gives up a leadoff double. The Brewers had a runner at third with 1 out, but failed to score. He began the night with a strikeout. He struck out 4 of the first 5 Royals. And in 7 innings, he gave up 1 hit and 1 walk. 2 base runners, Hud. He got an out against the last 15 Royals and struck out 10.
Well, no wonder in his first start here at home, for his home fans, they gave him a huge standing ovation, and he deserved it. He was outstanding. Man, what impressive young pitcher for a small guy with a small fastball as far as velocity goes, but it played big tonight. So did he.
Dan Jennings is a Chevy call to the bullpen. He'll get Gordon, Escobar, and Mondesi. Orlando Arcia will take over at shortstop for Brad Miller. And will hit in the number 5 position.
Alex knows all about Jennings. Fastball, slider. Good velocity, low 90s, mid 90s. Hard slider.
Many times when the Royals are playing the White Sox, Dan Jennings would come in to face Alex Gordon. "12 times to be exact. A couple of former Nebraska Cornhuskers who did not play in Lincoln at the same time. Jennings arriving after Alex. And Alex is 1 for 10 with a couple of walks against Jennings. Ball and 2 strikes. I spent a little bit of time previewing Nebraska football before the game tonight.
It's possible. You know, I've never been to a Nebraska football game. I'd like to do that. It's on my bucket list.
Well, you probably just earned an invitation by saying that.
Well, you know what? It's I'm excited about the university. So many of them are in the Midwest that are all outstanding.
July 7th is Huskers night at Kauffman Stadium.
Outstanding.
The Brewers will not be in town.
I believe the Red Sox.
That is correct. Alex to center field, a long run for Yelich, and he's got it. Among other things, the Brewers have a strong bullpen. Arcia drive to success. The Brewers have the 2nd overall ERA in the National League, 2nd best at 3.47, and their bullpen is 2.73. Only the Diamondbacks have a lower bullpen ERA in the National League. And they've got an animal in their bullpen this year, and another lefty, Josh Hader.
Sure do. You know, that's just one of the areas you got to have to win the championship. They have what it takes to get there, I'm sure, but to win all the way, I believe they're missing either a starter or a third baseman like a Manny Machado or something. You know, they need one more big move. Just my opinion. There's still a long ways to go here, but that pin is pretty tough.
Escobar is flied out to right, and he is struck out. Well, they've given up a lot already just to get where they are right now. I mean, they gave up 3 of their top prospects, including their number 1 prospect, to get Christian Yelich from the Marlins. And they lost a draft pick, signing Lorenzo Cain. But if you're in it to win it, that's what you do.
That's right. I mean, do what Dayton Moore did. Now, there's a lot of teams that would do that if you could guarantee them the championship. But, you know, the more and more we travel around and we hear other teams talk about, you guys went back to back in 14 and 15. They know how hard that is. And then to win it. And that's why I think our Royals fans are very understanding. And also with a lot of our young, talented players in A-ball, you know, and then with our draft that we've had, it won't be very long before we'll be winning again. That interview you did with him, you talked about sustaining a winning team for multiple years in a row.
Medios was on that 1982 American League champion team. Younger fan might say, wait a minute, you mean National League, right? Nope. That's when the Brewers were in the American League. Lost to the Cardinals that year. Another play for Yelich. 2 down in the 8th inning.
Celebrate one of the most dynamic players in Royals history with the Bo Jackson Flex Plan. This plan gives you the ultimate flexibility with 16 ticket vouchers to use during the remainder of the season. Download the MLB Ballpark app to pick and choose which remaining games you want to attend. More information on the Bo Jackson Flex Plan at Royals.com/Bo. Bo knows. You know, watching Yelich out there in center field, that's like no problem for him. Before he came over here, the Marlins, he played 155 games in center field. Lorenzo Cain can take a chill pill for a little while, get his groin back ready. But this is a fine athlete.
Young player who was signed to a long-term contract by the Marlins. Two and one on Mondesi. He has the only Royals hit. Lorenzo Cain, he had a front page story on the most recent edition of USA Today Sports Weekly. And he's already become the emotional leader of this team in his first year, and that's very rare. But he was once a Brewer, so maybe he felt a little bit of ownership because he had played here before, even though he was technically coming back as a free agent. Mondesi cranks it deep into right center field, into that alcove, and it's gone. Adalberto Mondesi has the only 2 hits for the Royals, and that is home run number 1.
Nice, and that'll give the Royals fans something to get up out of their seat for. Opposite field pop. Wow, look at this, and that's a beautiful swing. 93, wasn't trying to pull it. Bottom hand, good, a little top hand takeoff, fully extended. Good extension, opposite field. There you go.
It is his 4th major league home run. He had 1 last year and 2 in 2016. Now Hunter Dozier batting for Flynn. No balls and 1 strike.
Developing right before our eyes. How about him on defense tonight and offense? To have that ability. Switch hitter, speed, could play anywhere.
Yep. God bless you, Adalberto.
Sure enough, he has.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Let's check it out. See how far it went. Now, it did scrape the back of the wall, but it doesn't count. Doesn't matter in the scorebook. 100 exit velo. He got it. Beautiful swing.
Two and 2 on Dozier. Three and 2 on Dozier. Hunter yesterday was 1 for 3 with a run scored. He doubled and came home on Duda's RBI early in the game. And he is on with a walk. So nice comeback there after falling behind 1 and 2. He has physical ability, Mondesi does, that is pretty much unmatched when you consider the speed, the arm, the defense, the power potential. But there are two factors, and one is connected to the other. Number one, he just has not been able to prove that he can stay healthy. And then when he does, he can move on to the other one, and that is prove that he can play every day in the major leagues. It was really a blow to the Royals and the rebuilding process last year when he was not able to have a full season in the big leagues after beginning as the opening day second baseman. But he does many things you just simply cannot teach. You're either born with it or you're not.
Agreed. You know, I played against his dad when he was with the Dodgers, and his dad had a cannon tattooed on his right shoulder with shooting a cannonball out because he had a great arm. And I asked Alberto if he would thought about getting one on his arm. He says, "No, I don't have that kind of arm." But he does have an above average arm. We saw him today make a couple plays there at second base, running full speed towards shortstop and then stopping and throwing across his body. He's got plenty of arm.
2-1 on Witt. Smash foul behind Mike Jershely. Wisconsin native Mike Jershely. Born, raised, and still lives in Clintonville, Wisconsin. You know, Jersh came very close to making it to the big leagues. He got injured in the game prior to his call-up. He was going to the big leagues the next day, and he got injured in the game before his call-up, so he never made it to the big leagues as a player. He was in the Texas Rangers organization. He was also a heck of a high school football and basketball player in the state of Wisconsin. Yelich has all three putouts in the top of the 8th inning. The Royals get a run on this home run from Adalberto Mondesi, his first in the major leagues this year. Baseball on Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by Ford. Going further so you can. Our Pepsi fans of the game, those two lovely ladies. On the right is Sarah Blattner, who is a member of our crew. We'll over home in Kansas City, Fox Sports Kansas City, and occasionally as part of the Major League replay crew. So she's one of the few that will come running on the field with the equipment for the umpires to connect with the control center in New York. She's there with her mom, and occasionally they will go on the road and watch the Royals, and glad to see them here in Milwaukee.
Yeah, and having a good time, and she's always has a smile on her face.
Bert Smith will get the bottom of the 8th inning.
Working on bringing that ERA down. He sure looked good in his last outing. He's got great stuff. Look at that. Mid-90s, maybe a few ticks above. Big curve and a change. 6'4", 220. I believe he's got a nice future ahead of him. If he can continue to keep his focus, stay in the great shape he is, and work down in the zone, throw strikes, he's got an excellent chance to be a big back into the pin pitcher.
Good start.
Yeah, I mean, he just got that kind of stuff. Look at that's a big arm there. And it looks easy. He's got a nice fluid delivery. And his last outing might have been one of his best. And he's able to repeat his mechanics and hit his spot. He looked like a different pitcher last time out.
And now Orlando Arcia. And I've already made my first double switch National League mistake. Arcia came on at shortstop in the top of the 8th inning. And in a double switch, he ends up in the number 9 position, not the number 5 spot. The number 5 spot is the pitcher's spot. Cannot assume anything when there are changes made in a National League game.
No, you can't. And I remember being a player, my first 6 or 7 years was in the American League. And then when I went to the National League and I was playing with the Indianapolis Indians, Joe Sparks was my manager, and he pulled me off the field. And I was upset. I was irate. I was like, you know, because I'd made an error. Oh, nice. I'd made an error, and I thought he pulled me out of the game for an error, and he made, you know, he was making a double switch, and I didn't have any idea what it was. And so I was kind of fuming. He come walking down. He goes, "Man, why are you so upset?" I said, "Well, I just made an error. Why do you have to take me out?" I thought it was a double switch.
Well, it even happens to the players in the big league level too. I mean, every now and then, you know, they'll make a pitching change, and some guy will go running into right field, and the right fielder like, "What's this all about?" Right. And then, of course, oh yeah, that's right, we're making a double switch. And then, of course, it's easy to be, well, why me?
Yeah, no, that happens a lot, especially if you're not familiar with it.
It's Jacob Barnes.
But then getting the chance to play 5 years in the National League was good, because I was a bench player, role player, and role players get a chance to go out and double switch and play different positions and get in the game. So the first 5 innings of that game, you're not doing anything. But then after the 5 innings, you better be alive for a double switch, because they're going to pinch hit for the pitcher. So it was exciting. If you're a guy like Zobrist, you know, or he's more of a starting player. Whitley and Zobrist are two, you know, modern day utility guys that are super utility players where they can start games. But a regular utility guy that just plays off the bench has got value in the National League. And in his lineup today, Council, you know, Hernan Perez told you he's played 6 positions. Eric Thames is another one of those guys that's a guy for the Brewers that can play different spots. This guy batting right here.
Well, he may have hurt himself with that swing. But we were talking about his bad thumb, and that was not a jam shot vibrating left hand. That was just a swing and a miss vibrating left hand. Another good inning for Bert Smith. And it was Thames' left thumb that he wrecked in Kansas City. reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Club. Let's go down to Joel and get a preview of Boulevard Royals Live.
Well, on Boulevard Royals Live tonight, it'll be a discussion about two 22-year-olds. Freddie Peralta, dominant on the mound. Adalberto Mondesi has the Royals 2 hits in this one. Tough night for the Royals. See if they can come back. We'll have it all for you on Boulevard Royals Live. And guys, a little perspective on Freddie Peralta. The last pitcher, 22 years old or younger, with a double-digit strikeout game against the Royals. Happened twice in '05. A 21-year-old Scott Kazmir and a 19-year-old Felix Hernandez.
Wow, 19 years old.
Amazing.
This is Jacob Barnes. He's had a nice year with a 1.78 ERA, striking out 1 per inning. We'll get Herrera, Moustakas, and Perez in the 9th.
Yeah, I'll say 93 to 98. Hard slider. That'll get it done. 6'2", 220. Power.
Two and one. Herrera is 0 for 3. One of his outs was a line drive to left. Royals did not score until 2 outs in the 8th inning on that Mondesi home run. In fact, Brewers pitchers, mostly Peralta, and then 2 outs from Jennings. They got outs against 17 straight Royals from the 3rd inning to the 8th inning, and then Mondesi homered. His first in the big leagues this year. 4th career big league home run. That's hit well up the left field line, and a fair ball and bouncing up into the crowd for a double.
No doubt about it. Roselle went with the pitch, just tried to slice it down the left field line. He did exactly that. Been productive in every single game he's played in.
Royals fans here not losing hope.
Oh.
Beginning a "Let's Go Royals" chant. Moustakas is 0 for 3.
Moose could put one in the seats here in a heartbeat. This is a launching pad.
One ball, 1 strike.
2 games in Miller Park before tonight. 4 for 7 with a homer. Pop one up and hit it out.
Two and one from Barnes. Royals are 1 base runner away from a save situation. The tying run on deck. Aguilar backhands over to Barnes. 1 out, and Herrera goes to 3rd.
Enjoy a double play of savings with the new Summer Fun Pack from the Royals and Worlds of Fun. Pick any Royals game and also get a Worlds of Fun ticket, all at a discount. To learn more, visit royals.com/summerfun.
Tomorrow's game is not on Fox Sports Kansas City. It's an afternoon game at 1:10. Danny Duffy will make the start for the Royals.
Danny Duffy was taking BP today. He was hitting some balls into the upper tank in right field. I didn't know he had that in him. He looked good.
Two on Salvi. Let's see if Manny Pena does what I was talking about the last time Salvi was up. He was keeping an eye on Salvi's eyes until the very last moment. Not worried about Salvi stealing the sign.
One look.
There's one look. It's a 3-strikeout game for Salvi. He is 0 for 4. And that's 11 strikeouts for Brewers pitchers tonight. Little peek before he sets up outside.
Right. Kind of wanted to do some late movement back there.
Now the at bat before, he looked at him 2 or 3 times before the pitch came in. So now it's Lucas Duda with a runner at third and 2 down. The Royals, prior to tonight, have gone a team record 18 consecutive games, scoring 4 runs or fewer. Two balls, no strikes. Last time that has happened was 5 years ago by the Marlins. They also went 18 in a row with 4 or fewer. And now the Royals are 1 out away from making it 19 straight. And that is the longest since the 1992 Orioles. They went 21 in a row with 4 or fewer runs. Royals are just 4 and 18 in June. Interesting though, 3 of the 4 wins have been shutouts, including yesterday. The Royals' last 3 wins have been shutouts, and they were in danger of being shut out tonight until Mondesi hit the 2-out home run in the 8th inning. Barnes is 1 pitch out of the strike zone from possibly forcing his manager to bring in their closer. They really have 2 closers. They've got the lefty Josh Hader, and then they have Corey Knebel. He's a right-hander. Hader was being used as the closer when Knebel was hurt. He has 6 saves. Knebel has 7. Jeremy Jeffress, one-time Royal, has 3. And even Jacob Barnes on the mound right now has a couple. And that is ball 4. So first and third with 2 down. The left-hand batter coming up, and Craig Counsell coming out, and Barnes stares up into the roof. is not thrilled about having to get his closer hot and come in for one batter. What a season. 1.13 ERA. That's third in the major leagues. A 101 opponent's batting average. That's best. 80 strikeouts, most in the major leagues. In 39 2/3 innings, by the way. And then how about this one, Hud? When a hitter gets to 2 strikes, they're a combined 1 for 99 against him this year. And here comes Alex Gordon with runners at first and third and 2 down.
Feel pretty good if I was at 1.
Steven Souza Jr., by the way, is the only one who's
congratulations
got to hit with 2 strikes.
Well, it won't be easy for Alex, but he's a battler. We'll see what we can do here. 91 to 94 with a late life fastball. Obviously, his arm angle special. Slider, very deceptive changeup. Are haters' pitches. Funky. Obviously. He's a sidewinder.
Royals need one more runner for a shot to get the tying run to the plate. And Alex, who didn't face Hader back in April, takes a look at a pitch, and it's 95 in for a strike. Alex has walked, struck out, and flied to the warning track in center field. To straightaway center field. And Yelich is there to end the game. So the Royals put 2 on in the 9th inning. Hader throws 2 pitches and ends up with a save. And Christian Yelich, along with Ryan Braun and Jesus Aguilar, all hit home runs. 5 runs for the Brewers. And then that excellent performance by starter Freddie Peralta with 10 strikeouts and 7 scoreless innings. 5-1 Milwaukee. We'll be right back.